All right, guys, welcome into the Week 14 first round of the playoffs matchup here. Sorry for not having an intro. I was kind of feeling under the weather all week. I didn't feel like making one. Also, this video is going to be kind of short. In case you weren't following, there's not very many compelling storylines going into Week 15. Um, Everything's all but the sentence is written. They're just waiting to put the punctuation on for the championship matchup. But we'll go through it regardless. So let's go ahead and start with our top players. Top quarterback, Baker last night in that freaking barn burner of a game, got 54.6 on the waiver wire, and Rodgers got Arias 54.3 points. Running backs, I led the way. Derrick Henry had 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 36 points, which is what you love to see. Jonathan Taylor got Nate 30.5. Wide receivers. Nate was at the top again with Stephon Diggs, 29.1. And next was Ryan with Allen Robinson at 27.3. Tight ends, nobody surprised at this point. Kelsey got Arias the most points, 27.6, and Mike Gesicki, 23.5 on the waiver wire, was number 2. In the flex, I don't think anybody saw this coming. Miles Sanders got Dave 29.6 points, and Kareem Hunt got 29 points for Neil's bench. Oof, rough day. He could have used those points. Defenses, top defense was the Washington football team at 23 on the waiver wire, and then the Rams/Cards at 20.0 by Steve and or the waiver wire. Top kickers, my boy Rodrigo Blankenship, and also Greg Zerlin and Mike Nugent, all at 14 and all on the waiver wire. All right, looking at our tracker here, this leaves Steve in the lead. 21 top players, followed closely by Arias at 19, Nate 18, me 16, and then the rest, with Ryan and Randall pulling up the rear at 8 apiece. Most interesting thing, I think, this is while Dave has had previous top players in the last few weeks, I am willing to bet this is the first one that has been in his lineup since I'm going to guess week 8. Since he's been playing the Infinite Eagles for a while. So good job, Dave. I am proud of you for that one. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about some of the matchups here. So first things first, we'll go real quick over the consolation bracket. Nate beat Tom 158 to 109. Arias beat Ryan 164 to 117. And most impressively of all is Dave managed to win a game with an Eagles lineup over Jose 101 to 78. Now, you could bring up the fact that Jose did not play a quarterback, but as far as I see it, in the history books, this will go down as a W with no asterisks, regardless of the circumstances. So good job, Dave. You pulled it off. I honestly have no idea what these results mean. I don't know what's going to happen. It looks like you guys play each other again for another round. But what happens in Week 16 is beyond me. It's going to be a surprise for everyone. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's pop on over to the playoff matchups. I'll start with me and Neil. My reverse jinx worked, and I beat the heck out of Neil 191.7 to 137. That gives me a plus 54.7 point advantage going into Week 15 here. Looking at historically, there has been a week when I've dropped more points than that. I had a drop of 110 points between weeks 12 and 13, and Neil has also had a big enough jump. He had a 55-point jump week 6 to 7. So there is historical precedent for this being possible. Is it likely? I don't think so, but it's not out of the question. So, what the heck happened this week? Despite me only having one top player in Derrick Henry, I still had 4 people outside of my quarterback score over 20 points. So no one, and then one at 17. So nobody blowing the roof off, but all just consistent good scores. Just a little lesson for all you guys out there. 1, 2, 3, 4 if you count my defense starters. Came from the waiver wire this week. Mike Davis got me 26, Ayuk got me 21, and then Gronk had a 2-yard touchdown catch, which was almost nothing. But they all came off the waiver wire this week. So there are still points to be had out there always. And I think there are this week as well. I have a couple waiver claims in going into tomorrow that I think could put up some big points and may potentially be in my lineup next week if I get them. Looking over at Neil's lineup, Neil did not get fooled by Josh Jacobs putting on IG, I think, that he wasn't going to play. So he put him in to the tune of 10.5 points, and he took out Kareem Hunt, who got 29. Not the best move right there, I tell you what. Um, Neil also only got 8.1 out of Robert Woods. That was either his worst or second to worst game. And Kiki QT did not have the world beater game he did last week. He had under 10. And the Panthers defense actually only had 1 point against Denver. Drew Lock was the second top quarterback until Mayfield played last night. Um, so thank you, Neil. I was going to pick up the Panthers. I didn't because I had to wait till I could put Gibson on IR, and I wanted Ayuk first, so I appreciate that. I mean, granted, you saved me 5 points, but hey, I'll take it. Um, I won't lie though. I tilted pretty hard early when Mahomes had thrown 2 interceptions. Tyreek had a 30-yard rushing touchdown, and David Montgomery had an 80-yard rushing touchdown on like his first carry of the game. I was not too happy there. I was thinking I was going to lose, but hey, things work themselves out, and I'm happy with it. Um, Looking ahead at our Week 15 matchup, where Neil's got some work to do, it's possible, but again, just not likely. He's got good matchups for Montgomery, Woods, and Hunt, who we smartly put in the flex now. Good job, Neil. Um, so there's potential there, and also good matchup for Tannehill. So there's potential score points. However, I like a lot of my matchups too. Um, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Mike Davis if he plays again, Brandon Ayuk definitely. Um, a lot of potential for good points there. Going by the projections, I'm projected to outscore Neil by 18 this week. Um, but just to be safe, we did it last week and it worked. I'm projecting that Neil is going to somehow come back and outscore me by 60 points, crush my dreams, and take that spot in the playoffs. Let's see if we can make this work again. Um, so yeah, we'll see. Good luck, Neil. You are going to need it. Looking over at Steve and Randall. Steve had a very similar line to I did. He beat Randall 170.5 to 115.5, giving him a plus exactly 55 points heading into this next week. He edged me out by 0.3, Jack Wagon. Um, Looking historically, Steve has never dropped 55 points between weeks. The most he's dropped is 51 between weeks 11 and 12. However, Randall has managed to jump 55 before. He jumped 58 between weeks 12 and 13. So let's take a look here at what the heck happened in week 14. So Randall's team, just a lot of just badness all around. I didn't watch the Cowboys game, but Zeke scored under 8 points. I don't know what happened. He had started to look like he was coming back, but not anymore. That was just terrible against a really not good run, just not good defense in general. That should have been an easy game for him to score 15, 20 points. James Conner, seems like the Steelers' run game has all but evaporated at this point, as along with people's delusions that they're actually a good team and not just being buoyed by a soft schedule. He's got a questionable, so I don't know if he got hurt. Okay, looks like he got a quad injury, so that's unfortunate. He probably won't be back uh, next week. Not that you want to play him. Deebo Samuel had one rush for 9 yards and then injured his hamstring immediately after that and is probably done for the season, unfortunately. Um, who else? Julio Jones didn't play. David Johnson didn't play. Um, Miles Gaskin didn't play. So it's a real question if Randall will even have players this week to put on his team. We'll find out. Um, I will say I was disappointed. It looked very promising after Thursday night when Cam Akers put up 21. It looked like he might have a chance, but alas, it did not happen. Looking at Steve's team, his good players continued to be good. Wilson did good. Kamara did good. Devontae Adams did good. T.Y. Hilton, who's been just absolutely on fire these last 3 weeks. He looked at his game log before week 12. He had not scored. He'd scored double-digit points once, and now he scored 18, 25, 25. And he has Houston coming up, who he played last week and scored 25, and he also just has a fantastic track record against Houston across his career. He just always tends to be good at them. So that should be another easy matchup there for Steve, which will take us into our preview of Week 15 here. By the projections, it's got Randall at 142.7, and Steve at 166.4. So already Randall's in the hole again, even more than he was before. Um, who's got a good matchup? Let's see. Russell Wilson has a good matchup against the Washington football team. Has looked much more solid on defense, but they're very beatable through the air right now. Um, DeAndre Swift, decent matchup against Tennessee. We'll see. Um, the Drop Tay Johnson, you did like that one, has a good matchup against Cincinnati. We'll see if see what he can do about it though. If he plays Houston or Houston, T.Y. Hilton, fantastic matchup against Houston. Um, for Steve, looking at Randall, Josh Allen, great matchup against Denver. Um, Randall has now moved Zeke to the flex and put Cam Akers in the starting running back spot. I don't blame you. Try to give him a little time out there. I like that. I do that as well. Cam Akers, great matchup against the Jets. Um, James Conner, good matchup against Cincinnati if he can play and if they run it. Um, and Julio has a good matchup against Tampa Bay if he plays. Oh, and DeAndre Hopkins has a very good matchup against the Eagles, who lost, I think, three members of their secondary last week. So that was rough. We are starting people whose name. Sorry, my video just like stopped there for a second. We're starting people whose names I've never heard of in the secondary, so that should be easily beatable. Um, if I remember right, that is all that there was for this. Yeah, that's gonna. Oh no. So if I had to guess, Steve's gonna take it again, and that'll put Steve in the championship against Neil. Not really, Neil, but I'm trying to avoid the jinx again because it worked last week. Um, so anyway, that's gonna do it for our wrap up this week, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry for the short video and stuff. I'm just not feeling too great. Hopefully next week I'll be back at it, be better again. So that's all. Make sure to check the waivers. They all run tonight. Like I said, I have claims out there. I think there's a few gems out there who could be good next week if you need it. Other than that, good luck to your teams, good luck to your fantasy teams, and as always, fuck you, Spanos.